Welcome into this episode of Coach's Corner. Jordan Woodruff with you. Great to have you along. Today's episode brought to you by Cherokee Strip Credit Union. And today we're joined by softball coach Jared Freeman. How are you doing, Coach?
Good, Jordan. Good. Thank you.
Yeah. Let's talk. First time we talked to you this year, last year it didn't end like you wanted it to, but you still had a great year. And it kind of sets the stage for things going forward as well with the new stadium and much more. But what a whirlwind kind of first year it was for you with lots of good ups and, well, at the end maybe a down, but still you can't devalue what all those girls were able to accomplish.
Not at all. Like you said, when you look at the big picture, a lot of success, a lot of wins, and more importantly, just kind of making sure the system's in place and the culture's in place and the expectations that we kind of put on our team and our ball club. We were able to accomplish that last year and definitely into this year for sure.
Yeah. All right. Now let's go into this year. We talk about it all the time. I mean, softball, baseball instead of Oklahoma, there's a lot of good athletes. When you're playing 6A, every other game you're playing a D1 athlete as well up against you. Sometimes in softball it's a pitcher, which makes it even tougher. So let's talk a little bit about your team this year and how you guys hopefully are improving as we get closer and closer to playoffs.
We're sitting at 12-6 right now. We kind of scuffled the last few weeks, not playing the type of ball that we want to play. Too many mistakes, correctable mistakes, things that we as a coaching staff have been getting after in practice, and we're just going to stay on it and keep grinding and keep working. Great group of girls. They work hard, fun group to coach. But again, we talk all the time about it's a marathon, not a sprint. So I'd rather not be, I'd rather play our best ball 40 straight games. But if that's not possible, then let's just get better and better and better, Jordan, and peak at the right time going into the playoffs.
Well, and high school diamond sports, a lot of times the difference, if you're close to as competitive as the other team is going to be, softball, it can be a pitcher, don't get me wrong, but also if you're pretty close pitching-wise, it's going to be an error. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. You talk about correctable. Maybe a few errors that don't happen, you got a few more wins on the board, but that's stuff that these girls can get better at.
Correct. And that's been, when we look at our strengths and our weaknesses, is we've just made too many defensive mistakes, too many defensive errors on plays that just have to be made at this level. And again, that's not to fault a young lady. We don't yell and scream over physical mistakes. We talk about correcting mental mistakes, but we're just not making plays that I fully expect that here very soon that we're going to start making those plays.
How do you coach? And this is just a question because I think about a coach one time telling me, he's like, you can't really get on the kid at the end of the game not making a free throw because he wants to make that free throw in the game. So yelling at him after the fact doesn't help anything. You work on that by getting him in the gym, doing things like that. But I kind of find it similar with softball, baseball, is the last thing you want to do is really get on a kid for an error. Now, a mental mistake, going to the wrong base, whatever, that's a little bit different. But like when a kid's out there and they just make that error, you want to correct that, but there's a time and place to do that, and that's on the practice field.
Absolutely. We talk about errors of omission versus errors of commission. Commission, obviously, it's a physical mistake. Now we're going to talk about, hey, our feet weren't right. Hey, we're going to talk about the physical aspect that we need to do better, but we're not going to certainly scream and harp and yell versus the errors of omission, which is, like you said, base running mistakes, not knowing where the play is when the ball's hit to me and not having that plan that we talk about, playing the game before it happens. Those are the things where we harp on them. And starting last week, we've also started, Jordan, to kind of ramp up the pressure at practice. Maybe not quite so laid back at practice, put a little more intensity on the girls, a little more pressure, more game-like. So hopefully it's easy when the game starts. So we've kind of changed our outlook at practice too.
Yeah, and one thing I'll say about this team, from what I've kind of looked at, is the ultimate goal is you'd love to host another play a regional, but if you don't, this team is right there at the cusp of, on a good day, I feel like you guys could beat anybody in the state. Am I right on that?
Absolutely. Again, and I like that we're probably as a team and as a coaching staff and as just a team in general probably being really too hard on ourselves right now. But I also don't mind that. I want you to hate to lose and love to win. And but we've got to get things back in perspective, and we've got to get kind of everybody back on the same page. And you know, we go to a really good Mustang team on Thursday, like you said, D1 girls up and down the lineup. What a great test for us to see if what we've done the last few days of practice shows up on the game field.
And I want to ask you about that, the districts. Mm-hmm. So go through your district and just, like I said, talk about how competitive this thing really is. I mean, for Ponca City to do what they did last year was actually a big thing. I mean, this is a tough district with great athletes pretty much every time you go out and play.
It's hands down the toughest and deepest of the 4 districts in 6A. You know, there's only 8 state tournament teams and 3 are in our class. I mean, in our district. So almost half the field is in ours. You've got more absolutely loaded ball club, Mustang loaded every year. Stillwater may have 1 through 9, one of the best lineups I've seen in this game, and I've coached some pretty good lineups. Just big, physical, strong athletes. And then, you know, Edmond Santa Fe, good enough to beat you. Beat us 5-4. Edmond Deer Creek, giving people a run for their money. Norman, Coach Wood does a great job at Norman. There's no gimmies. Like there's no, those 2 teams, we definitely can sweep those and get 4 wins. There's no wins unless you play the game the right way and you compete the right way and you don't make mistakes. And like you said, right now it's just been one of those perfect storms for a few weeks where every time we make a mistake, our opponent does what they're supposed to do and kicks the door down and scores a run. We just have not been able to overcome our mistakes, and so they kind of get magnified a little bit. So we're going to keep working to clean those things up.
Yeah, and the good thing is you're not too far deep in district play yet, right? So I mean, you guys have a lot of teams out there, a lot of opportunity out there ahead of you. So what's your goal? Kind of where you sit right now? Is it hosting that other regional? Is it trying to get in there and play your best ball at the right time? So what's the goals you feel like are for this team? Because I feel like you really start to iron those out once you get into district play.
You know, you never sell yourself short and you never sell your team short. There's 8 district games left. So, I mean, of course, the goal is let's go 8-0 and get right there. But then we also, you know, we talk big dreams, we talk and dream it and think it, and then we talk realistic. And realistically, we want to finish in the top half and be a 2 seed at worst. You know, we definitely want to stay out of a 4. You know, there's only 7 teams in our district, so the 7 is going to be a 4. We don't want to be a 4. We want to go at least be a 2-3 team. 20 wins is still on the table, which I think is a big deal to be a 20-win season. And
you cross over with that other district, for instance, all of a sudden, that really, you feel like you can compete with maybe that, you know, 2 seed or whatever out of that other district all of a sudden, right?
For sure, because again, we're in the best district in the state, so I think that, you know, while it makes it a more challenging, which we don't ever back down from a challenge, makes it a tougher 12-game slate during the season. If you do what you're supposed to do, you're battle tested for the playoffs, which is what we expect.
Yeah. All right. The next couple of weeks looking like we have really good outdoor weather. I mean, for baseball, softball, when you're talking about 80s, 90s, and from what I'm seeing, maybe not a lot of wind a lot of times either. That's really good weather. So talk about some of the games coming up and how you'd like to have people come out and enjoy them.
Well, like I said, the rest of this week we go to Mustang tomorrow on Thursday, and then we go to the Norman Noble Festival for a couple of ball games. We're going to play some 5A teams there, El Reno and Lawton Eisenhower. And then next week we are at home Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, and would love to see folks out. Monday, it's going to be a non-district game with Perry. That's going to be our senior night. They've been state champions and state tournament the last few years in 3A. And then Tuesday, Stillwater, a big rival, comes to town Tuesday for a district game. And then Edmond Deer Creek comes to us on Thursday. So lots of opportunities, like you said, to come out and enjoy the amazing complex that we have and watch these girls compete against some really, really good ball clubs and hopefully enjoy some nice weather.
Yeah, and good opportunity for the girls, too, to get to the winning and to start building some momentum for next month when we have playoffs.
Absolutely.
So, Coach, really appreciate the time.
Yes, sir.
Coach Jared Freeman, that's going to do it for today's Coach's Corner. It's been brought to you by Cherokee Strip Credit Union. Thanks to Chris behind the camera as always. Until next time, Jordan Woodruff saying so long. Until then, go Cats.